I don't know if you guys saw Trump the other day. He was asked about this? All right, sorry. I try not to focus on Trump on my show, but this is a kind of entertaining clip.
And I want to start by talking about this big standoff between the auto workers and the big three auto manufacturers. Yeah. My question for you, Mr. President, whose side are you on in this?
I'm on the side of making our country great. The auto workers are not going to have any jobs when you come right down to it, because if you take a look at what they're doing with electric cars are going to be made in China. The auto workers are not going to have any. I'll tell you what, the auto workers are being sold down the river by their leadership, and their leadership should endorse Trump. The reason is, you got to have choice. Like in school, I want school choice. I also want choice for cars. If somebody wants gasoline, if somebody wants all electric, they can do whatever they want. But they're destroying the consumer, and they're destroying the auto workers. The auto workers will not have any jobs, Kristen, because all of these cars are going to be made in China. The electric cars automatically are going to be made in China.
So let's talk about UAW's leadership. The president, Sean Fain, has withheld his endorsement of President Biden, but this is what he had to say about you. Quote, another Donald Trump presidency would be
devastating.
Yeah.
First of all, fuck Trump and anything that comes out of his mouth, because like, how dare he? Didn't he say that we already make too much money? And this is coming from someone that hasn't lifted a finger in his life, inherited his money, so fuck him again. But also trying to pit us against other workers around the world against, the climate crisis, saying that nobody wants EV. That's not true. We need a just transition to electric vehicles. I would love to buy an EV or PHEV, but those are even more expensive too, and those workers aren't union yet.
One thing I'd like to point out is Trump went to the Lordstown plant and told those people not to sell their houses, to not move. And look what happened to that plant. He didn't stand behind his word, so we're not going to fucking trust him. Yeah. But at the same time, with Biden, if he really wants to be the best pro-union president, why not bring back Joy Silk? There's so many different things that he could do and has in his power, but isn't doing. So
I was really trying to hang back in the cut, because I was talking too much in the first half, and I wanted to let Chris and Marcy talk. But I will say one more thing about Trump, and I promise that's it for me. But this fucking guy I cannot stand right now, right? And my dad voted for Trump. I grew up a conservative. So I got a dog in this fight. I have seen firsthand what Trump's message, how it appealed to working people and what he did in return for working people, which was jack shit. He served himself. He served his rich and ruling class friends, and any and every time working people who looked to him hoping that he would help, tried to make good on his promises, asked him to make good on those promises, he tossed him into the gutter like that. Lordstown is the perfect example, because this is very personal to me, not because I am a member of the UAW, not because I work in the auto industry, but in the first season of my show, Working People, when I was still getting the hang of podcasting, I interviewed so many GM workers in Lordstown, in Pontiac, in Michigan, in Oshawa, Canada, and it was just devastating to hear from them, especially in Lordstown, Ohio. And that's a very historic, very famous plant. Google it. But at that plant, Trump came in 2017. He held a rally in Youngstown, and he told the same auto workers that I talked to that they should not sell their homes because, and I quote, we're bringing all those manufacturing jobs back. Don't sell your homes. We found the magic wand to bring the jobs back, I think is exactly what he said. And then in 2018, the Monday after Thanksgiving, GM workers came to work and learned that after receiving a massive tax cut from Donald Trump, that GM was going to be eliminating 14,000 jobs and unallocating, basically shuttering the Lordstown plant, among others. And Trump did nothing. He did nothing to help them. And now he is trying to deflect once again and try to suggest that China's the problem, or the transition to green electric cars is the problem. No one in the UAW gives a shit about that. The Republicans are showing how little they actually know or care about the working people that they want to claim as their own when they say, oh, we're the party of the working class, and we're going to go give our rich friends and billionaires and companies more tax cuts and keep doing the same old thing. Thank you for having me on. Solidarity with the UAW. Solidarity forever.
Thank you. And last question I have is just, Chris, you mentioned bringing back Joy Silk. Could you tell people what that is, the NLRB doctrine?
Joy Silk is a really simple doctrine. It means that if the majority of the employees vote to become a part of the union, if they fill out their cards and it's the majority, immediately the employer has to talk to that union in good faith.
Yeah.
Like they have to recognize the union. We haven't had that doctrine in a really long time. If we have that, it makes it much easier for factories, workplaces. It really doesn't matter. It makes it easier for everyone to unionize. And again, if he wants to be considered the most pro-union president, he probably shouldn't be breaking railroad strikes, and he probably should be implementing positive things in the NLRB.
All right.
And I was going to add too about Biden, if he wants to earn our endorsement, is, you know, like these government, the tax breaks, like we're talking about, given to the companies to build these plants, is this, you know, EV plants and battery plants. They're getting all this money, these tax breaks, and they're creating these joint ventures and going in right to work states where they don't have to be organized. You know, this is all done with our money. So labor needs a seat at the table, right? We need to be in these rooms, in these meetings, and making sure it's a just transition to EVs.
One simple thing, like at our Toledo plant, we have a lot of transfers that are from Perrysburg machining and from the engine plant, because they've been cutting jobs and shuttering lines there instead of building battery lines. And they have the space and they have the capital. They could do it, and it would be under our master contract, but they're not, because they want to pay $12, $15 an hour.